What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new video. I hope you're all good. In this video we're bringing it back, the level 50 Shadow Sharpedo in Ultra League, but this time we're going in with a triple Shadow team, so get ready for some extreme damage. So yes, this is a 100% IV shiny Shadow Sharpedo, best budded, 700,000 Stardust investment. Waterfall, Crunch and Poison Fang is the moveset. We're going to be pairing this up with another favourite of mine, the Shadow Muck. IVs are 0, 13, 12, rank 325. As you can see, it's not fully powered up. This is just because I want to keep it in the Premier Cup because it is currently level 40. Moveset is Poison Jab, Thunder Punch and Dark Pulse. And then finally, to close things out, Shadow Venusaur in the back. 5, 11, 10 are the IVs. Rank 683, and of course it has the standard moveset of Vine Whip, Sludge Bomb and the Legacy Frenzy Plant. So pretty standard ABB team composition. You've got the Sharpedo in the front that doesn't want to see the fairy or fighting types, and both the Pokemon in the back resist both of those. But in all honesty, Sharpedo is weak to pretty much everything. So anyway, into the first battle, we had Cresselia on the lead, and we did make a swap out into the Muck as the Cresselia will just be getting to its moves so quickly against us, and obviously it has access to Grass Knot, which will just be taking out the Sharpedo in one hit, easy. So going into the Muck, and they actually came in with a Poliwrath, so this is actually a pretty decent matchup for us, because obviously we'll be resisting any Dynamic Punch, but they did have Scald, which did a lot of damage to us. Now we're just going to go for the Thunder Punches. They've already committed a shield, so we're looking in a pretty good spot now. We could actually shield this up and farm down, but we actually choose to let it go, which is quite an interesting play. We're going to come in with the Sharpedo, and we're going to build up some energy, because expecting they're going to come back in with a Cresselia, and if they let a Crunch go against us, it's going to be doing a ton of damage. So let's see if they want to give up that last shield. We can comfortably shield up that Grass Knot. We're over farming by 1. We go for the Crunch. Let's see, do they want to commit a shield here and respect the Crunch? They let it go through, and look how much damage that does to Cresselia. It's absolutely ridiculous. So now we're actually going to choose to commit our last shield and keep the Sharpedo alive, which is a big call. But it was a really good one because they come in with Incineroar. So this is the first time I've battled this in Ultra League, and they did not want to see this at all, did they? Look how much damage the Waterfalls are doing. Unfortunately, they do get to a move before we can get through another Waterfall. We are staying alive, so it does do another big chunk, and we're bringing the Venusaur, and we should be able to tank a Flame Charge. And then we're just going to go for that Frenzy Plant and end it. We didn't even need to do that anyway. We could have just Vine Whipped down, but best to be safe. So that was a good first battle, and it's really quite interesting that they didn't bring the Incineroar in against that Muck swap rather than the Poliwrath, because obviously the Incineroar really didn't want to see the Sharpedo, so a bit of a misplay by my opponent, but you know, it happens to everyone. Into the next one, we've got an Articuno on the lead, so this is pretty decent for us. We will be getting to the Poison Fangs at the same rate, I think, as the Icy Wind for the Articuno, and obviously we're going to win CMP tie as this thing's attack is ludicrous. So they did shield up the Poison Fang, so we're going to match shields here, because an Icy Wind, even though it's resisted, will get us down low, and they'll be able to Ice Shard us down, and we don't want that to happen. So we're just going to force another shield out of them, or win the switch advantage with this Poison Fang, and they do choose to shield it up again, which is absolutely fine with me. So we're going to take switch, and we're going to farm this down, and we'll be able to get off an attack against whatever they're going to bring in. So 2 more Waterfalls does it. Let's see what they bring in. And it's actually a Registeel, so not the best thing, but we're going to be able to do neutral damage at least to it, and let's just hope we can get a debuff with this Crunch. So let's see how much a double debuff Crunch does to Registeel. Still does an okay amount, and we do actually get the debuff. And now we're going to bring in that Shadow Muck. So they actually hit us with a Flash Cannon, so they don't have either Focus Blast or the Zap Cannon there. And then they bring in Regirock, so running double Reggie here. We're going to go for the Dark Pulse, as it's going to be doing more damage than that Thunder Punch, and we actually CMP tied, so that's perfect for us. So they're going to be taking us out with a Stone Edge, and now we're thinking about what we should do, and I decide what I'm going to do is bring in the Sharpedo and do some extra chip damage to the Regirock, get it low enough that we can bring in the Venusaur and farm down with the Fine Whips, and then hope that we can get to 2 Frenzy Plants against that Registeel, because even though it will be resisting the Grass typing, we're going to be still hitting like a truck, as Frenzy Plant is just so OP, and we are the Shadow form. So we get up to just before 2 of them, and we go for the first one. Let's see how much it does. It does do a nice chunk. Can we get up to another one? We just get there before they get to the Flash Cannon, and this should just be taking out the Registeel, and the Venusaur says, I do not care about your typing, I just kill everything. So really good battle there, and we go into the next one, and we've got Scrafty on the lead, so that's absolutely terrible for us. We make a swap out into that Muck now, and they are staying in, which is fine with me. So we're going to go for a Thunder Punch as we get to it, just so we can get some chip off in case they swap out, and they are throwing their energy here. So probably going to be a foul play, I expect, and we actually let it go through, which is quite interesting, and they make a swap out now into Jellicent, so that's even more interesting, because obviously we're going to be able to hit the super effective with both of our moves. They go straight for a Bubble Beam and debuff us, so we should have actually just got off our energy while we could, but now we should be able to get up to 2 moves if they don't throw another Bubble Beam against us. So we go for a Thunder Punch, and we're just able to get up to a Dark Pulse, so this is going to be doing a nice amount of damage to them, even though they did debuff our attack. Getting them deep into the red, so we quickly swap into Venusaur, trying to snipe them, and they quickly throw their energy, and it is just a Bubble Beam, so that was actually a good call by us. And let's see what they bring in. They're coming with the Talonflame, so worst case scenario for us. We're going to throw a Sludge Bomb at them. Unfortunately, we didn't get our energy off before they were able to get up to a Flame Charge, so we're forced to use a shield. Sludge Bomb will do a nice amount of damage to them, but obviously we've had our attack debuffed by the Jellicent. They do commit a shield, so that's actually perfect for us. And now we go for a Frenzy Plant, which is insanely risky, but they do commit another shield, so that's really good. And now we're going to come in with that Sharpedo, make a quick swap so we can get off some waterfall damage before they throw their attack. And they go for a move, and we make a really big mistake here by shielding up that Flame Charge, because unfortunately they're definitely going to get to another move now, and even if a Flame Charge was thrown, it would definitely take us out, but they go for the overkill Brave Bird anyway, and then we're pretty much screwed here because we're going to need to get to 2 moves, and we're only hanging on by a thread with the Venusaur, so we just go for a Frenzy Plant just to get rid of this Grafty and say, I don't like your face, but it doesn't matter anyway. They're going to take the win there, and to be honest, I don't think we could have made it work, even if we would have called that Flame Charge. Probably still would have done so much damage to Sharpedo anyway, because it was boosted. So into the next one we go, and it's another bad lead with the counter user Obstagoon, so we make a swap into the Muck, and my opponent comes in with Cresselia. So this is actually a pretty good matchup for us, as if they are running Moonblast and Grass Knot, both of those are resisted. They did build up enough energy for a future sight though, so we are going to shield this up just in case, as that will be taking us out, but they did hit us with a Grass Knot bait. Now at this point I was worried they baited us and this will be the future sight, but it wasn't enough, so it's just a Moonblast, which is perfect for us. We're building up as much energy as we can, and we're going to go for this Thunder Punch now, which will hopefully take them out, but they do live it by 1, and we're able to take them out with the next Poison Jab. So we've got a ton of energy to go against the Melmetal that's now come in, and this is another Pokemon you do not see too often in the Ultra League now. It used to be on nearly every person's team back in the 3rd and 4th seasons after it had just come out, but now it's pretty uncommon compared to those days. So we went for that Dark Pulse, and then we went for a Thunder Punch, and we got this into the red. They didn't use either of their shields, so they're saving them for the next battle, but that's fine with us, as both of our Pokemon don't really want to see the Melmetal. We're going to come in with a Sharpedo and sack it, because if they go for a superpower, it's going to obliterate us. Even a Rock Slide's going to get us down really low. Look at that, it almost took us out. Then we make that swap into Venusaur. They've got an Obstagoon in the back, so this is going to be a close one. Obviously we're resisting those counters, but we are Shadow and we are squishy, and they are going to be able to get to their moves a bit quicker than us. One Frenzy Plant after the Vine Whip damage should take them out, but they do have those 2 shields, so we've got to get them out of there. And we did let through a counter there, I think, so we're building up as much as we can. We're getting down quite low. And then they throw the next Night Slash, so we've got to get to those 2 Frenzy Plants. Are we going to hang on here? We're really worried. They got through another counter there, so another counter is probably going to take us out. So what we do is we swap into the Sharpedo to transfer the counter damage, come back in with a Venusaur, and we've got that Frenzy Plant loaded now. Take out the Obstagoon. Can we Vine Whip down the Melmetal? We actually did it. Unbelievable how we pulled that win off, and that was quite an advanced technique if you've never seen that before, where they snuck through that counter there. It hadn't actually registered until we come out of the animation, so we just swapped into the Sharpedo, and the counter went through onto the Sharpedo, and that's how we ended up taking the win there. So into the next one, Galvantula on the lead, really bad for the Sharpedo. So we made a swap into the Muck once again, and they actually threw a lunge against us, which we called, so we didn't use a shield. Not very effective, but it did do a nice amount of damage still, and they did debuff us, so these Dark Pulses against the Cresselia aren't doing as much damage as they usually would, but it's fine. We're just doing some chip here, and then I'm sure we're going to look to come in with one of the other Pokemon and just look to farm them down. Probably going to be the Sharpedo. We actually let them farm us down the whole way there and didn't do any more damage, just so we can get some extra farm on the Shark, because we're definitely going to have to shield up 1 move anyway, so just able to farm them down before they got to another one. And let's see what they want to bring in now. They're waiting out the switch time. It looks like they come in with that Galv straight away, so we go and swap out into the Venusaur. Luckily a lunge will only be neutral due to the poison type in, so we should be able to tank this. But obviously we're still looking at a really bad spot here, because this Galvantula is doing a number on our team. They come in with a Gyarados now, so we're going to go straight for the Frenzy Plant. This isn't going to do as much damage as we have been debuffed by that lunge, but it still gets them into the yellow, and we're getting to another one now. So expecting them to let this go through, as the Galv can just Volt Switch us down, but they actually shield it up, so that gives us a win con. And we did sneak through a waterfall as we came in with the Sharpedo, so that's really good. We had to expend that last shield, because we're not going to survive the Dragon Breath and an Aqua Tail, so we managed to farm them down the whole way. Now we've got the 2 loaded Poison Fangs. We go for the first one and they commit the shield, which is a mistake, but I don't think they would have survived the first one. Anyway, they're definitely not going to survive this one. Goodbye, Galvantula. Thank you very much. And from a really, really terrible lead, none of our Pokemon were good against the Galvantula. We still managed to take the win with this absolute meme of a Pokemon. So into the next one, really bad lead. Once again, Venusaur, not good for the Sharpedo. So we made a swap into our own Venusaur, because obviously don't want to come in with that muck. If they swap out, we're going to be pretty screwed. And we did actually let that go through the Sludge Bomb. So we're going to go for our own Sludge Bomb now, expecting them to let this go through as well. But they do actually commit a shield, so that's a surprise to me. Now thinking about what we should do, we're actually going to let this go through, and it's a good call because it's only a Frenzy Plant, but of course that's still done a nice amount of damage to us because we are Shadow. They come in with a Wall Rain, so we hit the Frenzy Plant and they let it go through. What the hell are they on? So they completely sacked the Wall Rain, almost one-shotted a full health tank. And now we're going to bring in that Sharpedo. We let one of the Icicle Spears go through, and it almost does half of our health, even though it's resisted, and it's not even that strong a move. So we knew they were going to come in with the Venusaur, so we quickly swapped into the Muck, as our switch timers are misaligned. I don't think they waited theirs out, so we were able to get off some damage before they can swap out and keep the Venusaur for the Sharpedo. But they actually let the Dark Pulse through, so they're putting all their hopes into the final Pokemon, which is Lapras. So that's pretty good for us, because we can actually go for these super effective Thunder Punches, which will be chipping away at it, and the Sharpedo will be resisting both of the moves. Not that it really matters, to be honest, but anyway, we'll go for another Thunder Punch, and they do commit their last shield, so that's perfect. Now we're going to bring in the Sharpedo before they can farm up any more energy, and then we're just going to look to go for that Crunch and take out the Lapras. Not sure if a Poison Fang would be enough from this range, probably just about. After another Waterfall, it probably would have been. We might as well just go for the Crunch. So we're going to take the win once again. Oh, actually, we've still got that Venusaur in the back. I don't think they've got enough energy, and one Waterfall probably will KO them, because it doesn't matter what type in you are, this Waterfall is so oppressive. And another win from a really awkward lead, so it shows even with 3 Glass Cannons on your team, you can still pull it out. It's all about the energy and shield management. So into the next one we go. We've got the Empoleon on the lead, so we're both doing resisted Waterfall damage to each other, and we did actually sneak through a Waterfall, so that's quite good for us. We had to shield up that Hydro Cannon because it's still going to take us out. So we get up to back-to-back Poison Fangs. I'm going to go for them now, see if they want to commit a shield here, thinking that maybe it's a Crunch, and they do commit a shield, and then make an instant swap out into Mucks. Quite an interesting play. Obviously this will be not very effective, but it does lower their defense. It is the Poison Jab version, so we decided to actually swap out into our own Muck, because they're just going to be able to farm us down, so we might as well just stop them from doing that. They hit us with a Dark Pulse, which does a decent amount of damage to us, so now we're just going to go for that Thunder Punch, which will be doing a bit more, obviously, because they are debuffed now. So we've got to make a call here whether to keep the Muck alive. More than likely we're going to let it go down. We do let it go down, and then we're probably going to bring in the Venusaur, I imagine, just to get some farm, as the Sharpedo's nearly dead anyway, so the farm might not be worth it on that thing. Plus we've got it for a swap if we need to, a sack swap. So see what they want to bring in. They come in with the Empoleon, and we make a perfect catch into the Sharpedo to soak the Drill Peck. And that was good memory there, actually recalling how much energy they had from that first matchup. I'm always quite bad with that, so I was happy with that catch. And they've got a Gengar in the back, so really lucky that we made that swap, because we needed to go for the full farm down on the Empoleon to get this energy lead, as obviously they're going to do a lot of damage to us. Frenzy Plant is resisted, but it's going to absolutely devastate the Gengar just because it's so squishy. But we're going to need 2 moves still, but we're able to get to them and take that shield before they can even get to the first Shadow Punch. So the swap was absolutely crucial, and GG's to my opponent there. Moving swiftly into the next battle, let's see what we've got on the lead. It is another Cresselia, so as we've seen before, we're going to dip straight into the Muck, as they're just going to be able to outpace us to the charge moves way too quickly, and we're not going to be able to do anywhere near enough damage to them unless they were to let a Crunch through, but we've got to build up so much energy to get to it. They are actually staying in, and they threw a Moonblast, and they got the debuff, which you don't see too often, so that's quite unfortunate. But the fact that they're staying in is really good for us. Means they're not really probably got an answer to the Muck, and that's been a quite theme of this video when I make the swap into Muck. A lot of people are staying in. They do finally now swap out into Umbreon, which is fine because now we've got desynced switch timers, which could work out quite well for us later down the line. We're just going to go for this Thunder Punch chip, and obviously we've been debuffed with Umbreon being so tanky as well, and we're not getting stabbed from the Thunder Punch. This isn't doing too much damage to them. They've barely just got them into the yellow after those 2 Thunder Punches and some Poison Jab damage. Now we bring in the Venusaur here. Interesting, we could have actually gone with the Sharpedo, but I guess we just wanted to get them to use some of their energy, and the last resort would do so much damage to Sharpedo. Luckily, they didn't have Psychic. We did put up a 1 shield when we come into the matchup, in case it was the Psychic, because that would have done a lot of damage to us. Then they let through a Frenzy Plant, and they come in with this Talonflame. So things are looking quite dodgy for us now. We've obviously got that Sharpedo that can do well against the Talonflame, but they still have that Cresselia in the back. So this is going to take some manoeuvring to get out of. We're going to bring in that Sharpedo, of course, and we're going to let this go through. If it's a Brave Bird, it's game over, but Flame Charge is the go. And they come in with Cresselia now, so this actually gives us a chance to win this battle. All they needed to do really is just stay in with the Talonflame there, go for another move, and then they could have brought in the Cresselia, and they'd be able to take us out of a Grass Knot, but we just shielded it up comfortably. and we farm them down the whole way. We make sure that the Talonflame doesn't get an Incinerate through, and can we get up to another move? They just get to a move before we get there. So that's absolutely brutal, but I think we do still have a move left on the Muck. Oh my god, my voice has cracked at the worst time. So we swap in the Muck and we throw the Thunder Punch and we take the win there, and that was a close one, very, very close. It's a shame we couldn't finish it off with the Sharpedo. Well played by my opponent. Into the next one. We've got Mew on the lead. Not just any old Mew, but a Volt Switch Mew. So how's that for your algorithm? So we make a swap into Muck, because obviously that's going to be devastating the Sharpedo. They go for an Overheat, so really good that we shielded that up. I was expecting them just to throw a Wild Charge, but that would have done a lot more damage to us. So we go for a Thunder Punch here against the Talonflame that they brought in, and they do shield it up, so that's fine with us. We've got the back-to-back there as they were slow swapping out, and we've got them deep into the yellow with that Thunder Punch, and at this point we could obviously just shield up and farm them down, but once again, more than likely we're going to let this go. Oh, actually, we just survive and get to a Thunder Punch anyway, so that's fine with us. Likely they're just going to let this go down, but they shield it up, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. I'm not sure why you would use a shield on such a low health Pokemon. But saying that, they get the shield straight back from us, and they did win the switch. But now we have the Sharpedo with an energy lead, and shields are down. So obviously we're going to go for the Crunch here, which is going to devastate the Mew. And then let's see what they've got in the back. Really wanting to stay in with the Sharpedo, but we see that it is a Walrein, so we know we've got to come in with that Venusaur so they don't get up too much energy. An Icicle Spear is not going to be enough to take us out, and a Frenzy Plant is definitely going to be taking them out. We've already seen how much damage this does to a Walrein. So goodbye, Clown Walrus. Once again, you've been dumped out by the Grass Dinosaur, the king of Kanto. So let's go into the next battle, and it's against Kite Fred. Very nice name. He must be a big fan of kites. He's looking quite jazzy over there in his 3D specs. So they have a Coffagrigus on the lead for us. So obviously we're going to be resisting all of the moves. And for fun, I thought I'd let this go through. Look how much it does. Goodbye, Sharpedo. And I just didn't even want to play from there. I thought, you got me. You know, that was just a tester. Left that in for the lols. So that just sums up some of the bad battles I had with this thing. It's very difficult to run, and the majority of these are all the good battles that I had. So I'm not just going to show a load of trash because it's not very interesting. But yeah, it's very, very hard to run this Pokemon at times, especially in a triple shadow team. So into the next one, we had quite a bad lead. It was a Venusaur, and we swapped into our own Venusaur. They came in with a Walrein, so very, very interesting that they came in with that. Obviously, they're going to outpace us to the Icicle Spears, but a Frenzy Plant is going to devastate them, as we've already seen. So what we're doing is over-farming as much as we can to sort of give the illusion that we don't have two Frenzy Plants. So we go for the first one, and they didn't throw their energy, so that's perfect. We're now going to get to the second one. They committed that shield, and we're going to take the swap, so that's great for us. What do they want to come in? They come in with a Blaziken, so that's not great for us at all. Luckily, they don't throw their energy. They tried to farm us down the whole way, so we go for a Sludge Bomb, and it absolutely devastates the Blaziken. Come in with a Sharpedo, knowing that we're probably going to get absolutely obliterated by a Brave Bird, but that's fine, because we know that we've got to get that alignment with the Muck against the Venusaur, and from here on out, we're thinking that this should be a comfortable win, but you'll see, it does get a lot closer than I expected. Frenzy Plant is such an OP move. As you can see, even though we're resisting it, they've already put us into the yellow, and they're getting up to another one already. So I was getting a bit worried here. We're deep into the red, and we go for that first Dark Pulse, and this should be doing a nice amount of damage. But are they going to be in farm down range? It's getting really tight. We just get up to the Thunder Punch before they can get to another move. So it was a comfortable win in the end, but it got a bit tighter than I would have imagined winning that alignment there. Unlucky to my opponent, the slow swap into that Walrein against the Venusaur was definitely his downfall. Into the next battle against Sun Valley 2016, and they've got Jellicent on the lead for us, which is pretty good for the Sharpedo, resisting all of the moves that they can throw at us. But as we've said before, it doesn't really matter. Hit us with a Bubble Beam, and that's fine. So now we're just going to go for the Crunch. Even though we've had our attack debuff, this is still going to do a lot of damage to the Jellicent. They let it go through, and as you can see, it gets them right deep into the red, and now we're going to let this second Bubble Beam go through, as we knew it wasn't a Shadow Ball, and this is a mistake by my opponent. You should just go for a Shadow Ball. It's still going to do so much damage to us, and now we're going to be able to get off a move against whatever they come in with, and they come in with Stunfisk, so very, very interesting they came in with this, because even though we've been double debuffed, we're still going to be doing a lot of damage to them. Look at that, look, we've already got them into the yellow, they're trying to farm us down, but in that time, we've pretty much done the whole Stunfisk in, and then they make a swap into Sylveon, a Charm user, so very, very silly. Why would you come in with something that's going to get obliterated by the Sharpedo in the Stunfisk when you could just come in with the Sylveon and take us out? Either way, they would have been screwed because we've just got perfect alignment and both of our back two Pokemon can deal with Sylveon. We're going to let that go through because now we know we just need the Venusaur to Vine Whip down the Stunfisk. Back comes in the Stunfisk, and we've got a loaded Dark Pulse, and they save us both some time and let it go through, and they know that they royally cocked that one up. Unfortunate for them, but I'm not really sure what that secondary matchup was about, and they should have gone for Shadow Ball in the first matchup. So into the next one, Talonflame lead, the first one of the video and the last one of the video as well. So they made a swap into Walrein, and we came in with the Venusaur, which is actually a mistake. I think we should have gone into the Muck. Just simply because they're going to be able to outspam us, and by the time they've done some powder snow damage to us, then one Icicle Spear is going to be enough. Where we've not got an energy lead on the Walrein this time, we're definitely not going to be able to pull out the switch win. Unlike that other matchup where my opponent was very slow to swap in, we've not got an energy lead this time, so we're not going to be able to win the swap. So no doubt we're going to go down to an Icicle Spear here, and then we'll come in with one. Oh, they actually undercharged, so that's really silly. We're going to be able to get up to a Frenzy Plant now, so not really sure what the undercharge was about. But in reality, this isn't the best for us, because we're going to have to do this, swap out straight away into the Sharpedo, because if they get too much energy on this thing, they're just going to be able to take us out in one hit. So we do get off a Poison Fang, and we're just not able to take them out with one more Waterfall, but we did do the job in taking out the Talonflame, and now we've got the Muck in the back to deal with whatever they've got. So let's see what it is. It's the worst case scenario. Swampert in the back. So no doubt they're going to build up to an Earthquake and take us out. And that's going to be the end of the video. This is the last battle. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you thought. 700,000 Stardust investment on one of the spiciest things you're ever going to see in Ultra League. And maybe one of the only Shadow Shundos you're ever going to see. So until the next one, stay angry, trainers.